All right, squad. The mission and concept of the operation. The mission will be first squad, first platoon, Charlie Company, 1-5 Infantry will attack to destroy Objective Phantom no later than the 30th of August at 2200. The purpose of this is to deny enemy influence on higher battalion operations. I say again, first squad, first platoon, Charlie Company, 1-5 Infantry attack to destroy Objective Phantom no later than 30th of August, 2200 to deny enemy influence on higher battalion operations. The purpose of this operation is to deny enemy influence on higher battalion operations, as I said. We will accomplish this mission by conducting a frontal attack. What's decisive to this operation is undetected movement from the ORP to Objective Phantom until the fire mission begins, and also positive identification of the enemy. This is to ensure the element of surprise and that we positively identify the enemy so that we know that they do not outnumber us. Our risk assumed is being seen by the enemy and being fired upon before our mission begins. We will mitigate this risk by being concealed and have a higher understanding of all of our soldiers, what happens if these contingencies occur. For our end state, our terrain, we will secure Objective Phantom and destroy the mortar team and all enemies. For civilians, minimize civilian casualties and minimize damage to infrastructure. For the enemy, we want to, as I said, destroy all enemies on Objective Phantom and their mortar, and minimize friendly casualties and fratricide. This operation will be conducted in 5 phases: planning, infill, recon, actions on, and exfil. For recon, it will begin at the ORP and will go until initiation on Objective Phantom. What's critical for this phase is positive identification of the enemy on the objective and conducting leaders recon of Objective Phantom, our support by fire, assault line, and approach RTEs. For actions on, this will begin at the initiation of Objective Phantom and will end at when our squad is reconsolidated at the ORP. Key actions of this are: we achieve the element of surprise and enemy persons and equipment is destroyed. And finally, for exfil, this will begin when our squad is reconsolidated at the ORP and will end when we are back at the RP. we're back at the patrol base. What's critical about this is rapid exfil, because we understand that there's a 15-minute response time to enemy indirect fires. Now we'll be going through our terrain model. For phase 3, isolation, our key actions are positive identification of the enemy, conducting leaders recon, and occupying our support by fire, our assault, and security elements. First, we'll be conducting our leaders recon, and the purpose of this is to pinpoint our objective, and we'll be in placing our security elements and our support by fire element. And then we will be returning to our RRP. Contingencies during this phase is if Objective Phantom is unoccupied, we will abort the mission and return to the ORP and then back to the patrol base. If there's a hard compromise, if there's a security hard compromise, meaning they take fire, they will break contact and return to the ORP. If there's a soft compromise, meaning they see enemies, they will contact the squad leader for a decision. If there's a compromise during occupation, we will initiate support by fire at reduced rate of fire, and then assault will fight into position. Moving into phase 4, actions on. So what will trigger our actions on is our indirect fires that we have capabilities from our 60mm mortar. There will be one to both of these are on roads to deny any possible enemy reinforcements that could be coming. After our indirect fires, our support by fire team will be engaging between TRPs 1 and 2 at a cyclic rate of fire for 20 seconds, followed by a rapid rate of fire for 40 seconds, and then we'll drop to sustained. During this time, our assault element will be approaching phase line alpha, and as they approach phase line alpha, they will initiate a V17 panel to our support by fire team, which will then shift their fires to fire between TRPs 3 and 4. And then as our assault element moves to phase line B, they will then be lifting fire to allow them to complete their assault through Objective Phantom. So now that we've killed the enemies on Objective Phantom, we'll go to the LOA, and then for our possible contingencies, and if enemy reinforcements do come, we will coordinate a break contact over radio with the squad leader. If our support by fire is ineffective, they will repeat their engagement cycle until directed otherwise by the squad leader. And if we have any friendly casualties, we will take them back to our casualty collection point, which will be in between our security team and our support by fire team, so they're safe until we can bring them back to the ORP after the mission is accomplished. Our EPW plan. Zip tie and leave the objective outside the blast radius of demo charges. Collect maps and enemy TRPs found on objective. Now for our exfil. It's important to note that this has to be a quick and hasty exfil because we have there is a known mortar element that has a response time of about 15 minutes. So once we reach our LOA, it is important that we make it back to the ORP as quickly as possible. And to do this, we will go back we'll go back through the phase lines and follow route dish all the way back to the ORP, where all of our teams will then meet up after it goes. Our assault team, support by fire team, and our security elements will go. And then our EPW plan for this is coordinate with platoon leadership and squad leader.